Today we're talking Transporter Refueled. No, wait. Yeah, Refueled.
Yeah.
This is now the
Good start.
fourth installment of the Transporter series. Anyone who's been watching the Transporter series has seen Jason Statham so far kicking ass, and now we've got a new actor doing the same thing, taking over from Frank Martin, and he is the new Transporter. I really liked the first three. They could have just carried on with Jason Statham, because I really liked him in the films. I didn't think they need a reboot, sequel, prequel, origin story, but I'm happy to see Transporter anyway. I remember the originals are great. They're just they're good action films. Don't worry so much about the story. It's a man who drives a car, but he loves his car. But that's take away the premise and the rest of it. They are good action films. So this one we've got a new guy taking over from Frank Martin's character, and again he's a special operations mercenary kind of guy. He's got his car that he loves, and this one's a bit more about human trafficking. So it's taken. It's a bit similar to number one that way in terms of the story, but it's not. So what was your first take on the plot? Let's talk plot first before we go any further. So fill us in on the plot.
Okay. So we've got the transporter. And we've got a relationship with his dad, really, that it starts off with. Explores that. It's sort of hinted that his dad was a sort of special sort of investigator or spy or something. Straight from early on, it's really quite obvious. It doesn't really state it obvious.
Your best bet is to buy from me, friend. You won't regret it.
They've got this sort of relationship where they've both done these jobs, and they kind of know what they've been doing, but they they don't say it out loud.
It's implied.
We've got that stuff going on. We've got a typical, really very shallow story of like prostitutes and people that want to run the game, and one guy comes in, takes over, and we've got a sort of the main three that are taking over. They've got this little trio thing going on, and they've got some possible mistrust going on in there.
Yep, there's no honour amongst these.
Yep, and then you've got a sort of vigilante group of girls that turn up, and that's where the story sort of really starts to pick up of the action and what's going on. So so the girls, I guess we're always up for all the spoilers. So the girls are basically
spoilers.
they want to take down these three guys,
the bad guys,
for various reasons. They've each got their own reasoning. There's actually 4 girls, but as you'll see, they usually go in threes, work in threes. And that's when the transporter and his dad get sort of mixed up in it.
Yes.
So we've got the same guy as usual. The same transporter. He's got his rules. So we already know about the whole rules thing from the first one and the first 3.
Never look in the package. Just do what you're told.
Yeah.
Those kinds of the standards.
None of it's really. I didn't find any of that was really delivered as well as it was in the originals. But it's still the same sort. The whole film is sort of the same sort of essence of just sort of action, sort of fun pieces tied together. But they've tried to give it a bit more story this time. Maybe not done too well, but you were there for the action. So
exactly, no one cares for the story in these films. It's literally let's see the transporter drive around his car, and like with all the transport films, you have a great car sequence, you have a lot of action, you have a lot of fighting. You take the nonsense, but you just kind of sit back and enjoy the film. This is like, in my opinion, what a good summer kind of like popcorn film would be, where you just sit back and just kind of enjoy the film. But don't worry so much about the plot holes. Don't worry about these 3 girls trying to kidnap his dad and trying to force the transporter to do something which he doesn't want.
Yeah. Even though he's a transporter who will do what he's paid to do anyway.
Yeah.
Try and trick him, but don't worry about that.
don't worry about any of that. Literally, just think, here's the transporter.
Yeah.
He's gonna go around.
I mean, it goes quite well with the new actor, who's pretty annoying to look at as well. Anyway, so it kind of suits his intelligence somehow.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
like
really
Jason
like
as
the
well.
original guy.
Yeah, Jason Statham in the original. I think we both agree. We thought he was great as the transporter, and he didn't really need replacing. He could have. I'm sure he could have done another film. I know there's a TV show that goes with this as well now, which has been greenlighted for a second season as well. So maybe there's a reason why he didn't do it. But I would have loved to have seen Jason again back in here as the transporter.
Yeah, I guess Transport series has got slightly bigger then, really. Because I remember when the first one really wasn't a big film. It was just like really out there, sort of. When I watched it, I found it a bit like watching a video game, like just lots of different snippets of things from like really amazing action video games. And I thought it was a really unique thing. And now they've got it so big that they're doing a reboot. It confuses me. I'm like, there's so many reboots out there, you know. We see so many reboots, and this is one that I did not expect to see, really.
Yeah, because it could have just done with another sequel, because it's not like the films have done that badly in the box office either. I remember, like you say, when Transporter first came out, it kind of came and went really quickly in the cinema. It wasn't around for too long. People didn't really watch it, but then it picked up a big momentum on DVD, but a lot more people watching it. And I remember it got green lighted for a sequel because of DVD sales. And then when the second one came out, I think the opening weekend, it made more money than the previous did in its whole time. So, you know, they were doing well. The films were doing good. And you know, for what they are, they're just good action films. They are literally just Statham doing what Statham does. Like when he turned up in Fast and Furious 7, and he should have really just got rid of all the characters in the film by himself, but for some reason they didn't let him. Otherwise, he could have been in the new Fast and Furious team by himself.
Of course,
He's that good.
He ends up tied up in whatever, handcuffed.
Yeah, so I love the films anyway. So to me, I was really excited to see another one. I was a bit disappointed when I knew Statham was no longer going to be part of the franchise. But I was still looking forward to it, because I do like Luc Besson films as well. Stuff that he produces, he's got a certain style, certain type of film now he makes, like the Taken series, Lucy, the original kind of Taxi. He's producing similar types of films, so you know what you're going to get. Don't worry so much about story. Don't worry about certain things. Just sit back and enjoy the mess, really.
Totally. For me, I was just a little bit confused as to why they were doing a reboot already. I mean, I know it's been 10 or so years since the original, but it just confused me. But I wouldn't say I was really impressed with what I saw, but it still delivered the sort of same stuff as the first one, really. So the originals. So in that respect, I guess they didn't do too wrong.
No, if you like the series, this is literally just a kind of add-on to that. There isn't anything extra.
Yeah.
There is obviously a new star cast and everything to go with, but
you say you're a fan of all three of the originals.
Yes.
As well.
As bad as they are, I could still watch it. It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's hard to say I did not like this film, because it's got plot holes. It's got everything wrong in a film, but it's a guilty pleasure.
Got plot holes, so.
It's a guilty pleasure. I just enjoy it. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those films that just sit back and
I have to say that guilty pleasure is better with the original guy.
Jason Statham. Yeah.
I think that was better. It was a lot more enjoyable with him as a guilty pleasure. If they continue the series with this guy, I'm not sure that I'll be on board with it, really.
So you think this could be his first and last outing as a transporter?
Well, I don't know. For me personally, I'd much prefer Jason. Yeah, he just has this. It's just himself. He has such a brilliant personality and way of carrying himself that just suits the transporter character so well.
Yeah, I think we've invested
this guy's just sort of playing.
three films into him as well, so we're used to seeing him as the transporter, and we like to see what he gets up to as well, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, but at the same time, the film still delivers on the series. So I don't know what the general public, what most people think. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, so obviously with all the Transporter films, we always have the same kind of direction and the same sort of look and feel about them. You get into the car, he drives off, and the main thing is, are the set pieces and action sequences better this time around than the previous, or are they on par? And I think they're always on par. They don't let you down. If you go in to watch great car sequences, you want to see the action, this is pretty much what you'd expect.
And
It's good. Yeah, it's a good style as well.
Yeah.
And it comes from Luc Besson, so if anyone hasn't seen a film of his, one to catch up is Leon. It's an absolute classic. So because he directed that many years ago, you know, he makes rubbish films
I
now.
think his older stuff is definitely a lot better.
Yeah, I mean,
in my opinion, Leon and Taxi.
Taxi, yeah, the original French-speaking Taxi.
Which which.
Not the new one with Queen Latifah. Watch the original. And yeah, that is a great film. And again, that's a good example where he's watched the film, but there's some of the best car chase sequences in cinema in that, really.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
so he's
just,
still doing the car chases. So
yeah, that's his thing. And yeah, he's really good. He's really good at bringing all of that together. He's produced a ton of films, so most probably you've all seen something that he's produced. District 13, the Taxi films franchise, Unleashed with Jet Li, Kiss of the Dragon with Jet Li. I think he was involved in Arthur and the Invisibles, that he directed, the little cartoon, if anyone's seen that. From Paris with Love with yeah, Colombia, and he's got a long list of stuff, but yeah, the one to look out for definitely is Leon. That is a definite great film.
oldies.
Yeah. In terms of ratings,
should we give an arbitrary rating?
I enjoyed it. Not as good as the previous installments, but you know, it is a Transporter film. The action's great. Car chases are great. I'd give it a 6.
Nice. Oh, I don't know how to rate things anymore. It's yeah, so it's a Transporter film. If you know what you're getting into, then I think you'll get exactly that. I'd go for I'll probably go for a 6 as well, I think, with no more details necessary. I've said it already, so.
Yes. So yeah, tell us what you think. If you agree, disagree, love it, hate it, write some comments down below, and yeah, we'll also hopefully click on the big red button as well for subscribe. If you want to subscribe to our reviews, previews, and analysis and stuff.
And yeah, check out our other videos.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant.